Hiya, I'm Chris. Welcome to the channel. So if you're anything like me, then chances are you've thought many times about starting your own YouTube channel, but have probably decided not to on the basis that it's just not the sort of thing that people like you and I get into, is it really? Kind of natural thought is that YouTube and creators it's the home for extroverts, charismatic, extremely confident people. Well, I'm here to tell you that having started my second YouTube channel now, this one is my second, that it's absolutely possible. And I'm going to talk through in this video the 5 key reasons and give you some tips as well as we go for why I think YouTube is the perfect self-development project for introverts like you and me. I'm trying to do this unscripted as much as possible. I've made some notes, so you'll have to forgive me if I sort of refer to those as we go through the video, but I'm trying to do this in as authentic a way as possible, so that you can see the whole me really. And yeah, that's awkward, isn't it? But that's kind of part of the process. So I don't want this video to be heavily edited, so you'll just have to take it as it comes. So let me take you back to Chris as a small boy and teenager. I think, I don't know what other people think. You know, I had mates growing up, but I think I was probably certainly very quiet. Was I painfully quiet? Maybe I was painfully quiet. I was certainly very aware that I was very much in my own thoughts as a child and as a teenager, really sort of observing situations without necessarily contributing to them. I was definitely there in the moment with my mates because I had some great friends growing up, but I was very mindful that I kind of, lived my life in my head. I was very observational, collecting my thoughts, not really offering up my thoughts unless I was really sort of pressed for them. And as I took that into work, I sort of took with me sort of almost like a perfectionism with me towards work. And I never really felt that when I was at work I was living and expressing myself as my full self. I kind of went to work and kept work and Chris very separate. And I don't know if that's something that comes with age or not, but I suppose maybe a couple of years ago, I started giving less of a fuck about what other people thought about me. Maybe that's just with age, I'm not quite sure. So I'm 44 now, so I think that's certainly helped, and that's probably one of the reasons why I've had the courage to start a YouTube channel. So about 3 years ago now, I took redundancy. There was a restructuring within the business that I'd been at for 17 years, and I took an opportunity to take a step out of that business. And that was really the moment that I began to sort of self-reflect on where I'd been over the last 20 years of my life, working life, family life, and so on, and really just tried to decide what was important to me. And I don't know if you may have come across this chap before, Simon Sinek. He's all over YouTube and various other social media, but he talks about identifying what your why is. And I sort of reflected over a number of weeks and months and identified that my why was really about trying to inspire other people to live as their whole selves, which was something that I hadn't done. So clearly I decided that I wanted to make that change for myself, to try live as true to myself as I possibly could, to try and pursue my true purpose and maybe just get off the path of least resistance that probably been on for about 20 years, from a work perspective at least. So that's really why I started this channel, and I hope that it's useful to you. I want to try and connect as much as possible with like-minded people. So the other channel that I started was a It's a clothing brand actually that I started, so I screen print my own clothing, and the sort of the purpose behind the brand, it's actually a cycling apparel brand, casual cycling apparel brand, but the purpose behind the brand is kind of similar in terms of inspiring positive change within people, inspired by the freedom of cycling and so on. So the whole thing that I'm trying to do now is try to be more creative and to try follow that purpose. So that is why I've started this channel, and I hope that this video will act as a seed, if you like, for you to maybe start your own journey around YouTube, or maybe it's something else. So without further ado, we'll get into those 5 key reasons why I think YouTube is the perfect self-development platform or project for introverts like you and me. So the first reason is YouTube is the perfect place for you to share your thoughts and ideas with like-minded people. When you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, it's really, really easy to think that people are judging you. But the chances are that when you start, hardly anybody is going to be watching you. And anybody that is watching you, the likelihood is that if they're giving you the time of day and are giving you their attention, the chances are that they're probably quite similar to you, and they're likely to be quite supportive. That's certainly what I found with the first video on this channel, where I kind of bore my soul, really, and I was really overwhelmed with the feedback that I got. So just think about that. As an introvert, we tend to gather our thoughts almost to the point that we don't share them, and it can start to eat away at us. So it's a really good way to release, much as I'm doing through this video at the moment. So bear that in mind. YouTube is not just for extroverts. It's a great way for you to unload, if you like, and share your thoughts with others. And I think the other thing to bear in mind as well when you're starting is you don't need to tell anybody that you're starting a YouTube channel. I've worried in the past that, okay, well, what if my video takes off and somebody sees it? Well, the chances of that are probably quite slim in the early days. It's unlikely that your channel is going to blow up overnight. So, if you don't want to tell any of your mates or your family, just like I haven't done, then don't do that. Just start off small, create a few videos and see where it takes you. Okay, the second reason why YouTube is perfect for introverts is that you don't have to just get on camera and ad lib. I'm trying to do that as much as possible now and in this video, but that's just because I'm time constrained. You may have a bit more time to prepare and gather your thoughts as you would sort of naturally do in a social environment. So you can write a script as much and in as much depth as you like if you feel that that is the best way for you to communicate your thoughts and ideas to others. So think about that. Think about how much planning and preparation you need in order to be comfortable. But remember, don't overthink it, because that's, one of the things that we can be guilty of, isn't it? Overthinking things to the point whereby we don't actually act. So that is one thing that, that's a kind of a watch out. I've got some tips later in the video for overcoming that. The third reason is that introverts, like you and me, we kind of like solitude, don't we? We're not completely, maybe not completely, we're all, I suppose, on the spectrum, but we have a tendency towards perhaps enjoying our own company more than those, further up the extroverted end of the scale. And creating videos, as I'm doing now in my own spare bedroom, nobody's here, nobody's listening to me. It's kind of like the dream, isn't it, really? Okay, I'm not doing it full time at the moment, but if I was able to do this, creating 1 or 2 of these videos once a week on my own without really having to interact with anyone, then that's ideal. I think one of the sort of misconceptions around introverts and extroverts is around, introverts are quiet, extroverts are loud. That is true, but for me, it's also about where we get our energy from. So I get my energy, or I should say, I think extroverts probably get their energy from being in and around other people, whereas me, I find it exhausting being amongst other people. So when I'm working in the office all day, I'm actually absolutely exhausted at the end of it. So the thought of being able to control my own time in solitude is a really, really attractive one. And that's probably why I like cycling as well. And I like cycling on my own, because I get that me time So another great reason to start a YouTube channel. So the fourth reason why starting a YouTube channel is perfect for introverts is it is a great way for you to start accepting who you really are, which is something that I've started to embrace now, sort of maybe 20 or 30 videos into my other channel, 3 or 4 on this channel. One of the ways that you need to sort of grow as a YouTube creator is through observing and reflecting on your previous videos, and seeing yourself on camera. Growing up, I used to hate seeing myself in a photograph, or worse still, hearing my voice. Obviously, when you hear yourself through your own head, you sound completely different to how you sound on camera. And I've only just overcome that now, but now that I have, I find that I'm just a lot more accepting of who I am. People aren't judging me, hopefully not on the other end of this video based upon what I sound like, because they don't know what I sound like in my own head. So I think it's a kind of like a small point, maybe for the casual onlooker, but for introverts, where we are so sort of focused internally, that can be a huge barrier to starting your own YouTube channel, and it will only come through publishing several videos. So don't be overwhelmed from the start. As we'll see later, it's important that you kind of start messy and try and throw yourself into it, because really, as I said before, not that many people are going to be watching. Okay, so the fifth tip before we get on to the sort of special bonus tip, if you like, is that you might have seen this as well yourself. I think genuinely YouTube is changing now for creators, and it's making it a lot more accessible for people like you and me to get started. I think it's kind of, YouTube has maybe gone full circle back to where it was. Originally it was just people in their bedrooms sharing stuff, and then over the last few years it's become sort of, the Mr. Beastification of YouTube, this heavily edited sort of video style in order to retain people. It's not cool, is it? So it allows people like you and me to get in front of camera and just talk and share ideas in the hope that we can connect with like-minded people, because obviously YouTube is absolutely enormous. There is a place for everybody on YouTube. I genuinely believe that, based upon limited experience that I've had so far. So don't be worried. Over time you will be able to connect with like-minded people, just like I hope I can through this video too. The sixth reason, sort of the bonus reason if you like, it's one that's come to me during the video itself. It's one that I've thought about many times before, but that is around creating a legacy, either for yourself or for other people. Now for me, I kind of wish that, people in my family, dad, granddads, great-granddads, if they had created a YouTube channel that I could look back on now and they could share their ideas and I could hear from them in person, what a wonderful thing that would be. And I kind of think that this is a good opportunity now for me to share my ideas indirectly with my family, certainly my daughters, who think, I'm crazy at the moment, starting a YouTube channel. I mean, they just think I'm absolutely mental. But hopefully in time, maybe they'll look back on these and, kind of see what Dad was really like. I mean, they know that now, but maybe I'll be able to share some nuggets with them, which otherwise would just go in one ear and out the other. So that's something to bear in mind when you're starting a channel. Lots of people kind of start with different objectives in mind. I've talked about mine, which is around inspiring other people to live as their full selves, pursue their true purpose, and really just consider what it is that they want from life. And there's obviously opportunities to make money as well, but it doesn't have to be about that. It could just be you getting in front of camera with your limited kit and just sharing your ideas and just seeing where it goes from there. Okay, so my final tip to you is to start messy. Start this afternoon. In fact, I want you to create a new YouTube channel. Very, very simple to do. You can get that done in 10 minutes. You don't have to tell anybody about it. And then record your first video straight after this one on your mobile phone if that's all you've got. Don't worry about the lighting, don't worry about the audio. Just create a 1, maybe 2 minute video introducing yourself and why you're thinking about starting a YouTube channel, and just see where it takes you. Okay, don't overthink it, because that is, there's many advantages of being an introvert, but one of the drawbacks is that you can overthink to the point of paralysis. And I'm here to tell you that you can overcome that barrier. Okay, but you've just got to act. And if you start with the first video, it will create momentum for your second video. I promise you that. So hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Chris. I'll catch you in the next one.